Welcome to the 251, and we're talking about campaigns today and the two main contenders in the Democratic and Republican race, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Now, welcome, guys.
Hello.
How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Okay, now the big vote is coming on November 8th. It'll be our 58th presidential election. It's exciting. Who's all turning 18? Nobody? Okay. But you,
I'll be able to vote next year.
you'll be able to vote, and that's exciting. Are you excited?
I am.
Okay. So I want to know, what are you guys' take on Hillary and Donald Trump? Because they're at the top, they're ahead in both of their parties. So I would like to know, do you think, let's start off with Donald, do you guys think that his business sense, I mean, he owns hotels, he owns networks, he owns different corporations, do you think that will be enough to lead a nation or be the leader of a nation? Like, is it the same as running people?
Not at all.
I believe that he has a great sense of money because he's a businessman and he knows how to handle our financials, like the United States. That will be a good part of his presidency, but I feel like I don't think he would be a good president as in trying to lead our country, because he says what he thinks. He doesn't have a filter on what he says, and it offends a lot of people, and I don't think our president should offend his country's people. He's supposed to lead, not offend.
I don't feel like he represents our country as well as we should be represented, because from past presidents in the past, they've been good at military and good also with money and different kinds of things. And just because you're good at money doesn't mean you're good at politics.
Okay. What about you, Samuel?
I think that his feistiness will be good because he can get things done. But like they said, he's not a people's person. Like, business-wise, yes, he can talk to people, he can negotiate, but otherwise, I don't see it happening.
Okay.
I agree with Samuel, what he was saying about his filter. I love the way he talks and say things, but
It's entertaining.
yeah, it's very
really
entertaining.
fun.
When you watch it, you get to laugh and giggle. But as a president, when they have to say speeches and stuff like that, it shouldn't be always, I want this to happen. You should actually think before you say stuff.
Because you're
Professional.
gonna go with
Yeah.
people from different countries, and
You gotta set an example for our country. You gotta be
Yes.
professional.
Yeah, and you're not only working with the United States, you're working with the world, because we're working with the leaders of the world, and the leaders of the United States is in the Supreme Court and all of them, and he can't just,
say what
he wants to say.
And I find that interesting because I was thinking, when it comes to business, and with business is marketing, and you have to market yourself to different types of people and places, and I would have thought a person who knows that would know not to say certain things about women or say some things about people, about making up walls and saying, let's not allow
He's
certain-"
targeting a younger audience, because the older audiences, they already know what they're going for. So I feel like he's going toward, Hillary and Trump are both going towards like younger audiences, because they don't know what they want, and they're just going into politics and understanding this kind of stuff. And so they're really just going towards popularity, because social media is all that's right now. And Donald Trump and Hillary are both trying to target them over social media and focusing on making them laugh or being popular, and because younger people do focus on money, because that's what they want. They want money because they feel like that's all you need in life.
Okay, so let's go from about Hillary. First Lady, Secretary of State. She also interned with the huge Nixon Watergate scandal. So do you feel like she would know what she's doing as president?
Yes.
I feel like she has experience.
She has the certain experience in the economical world and the Democrat world, and she knows what she's talking about because she experienced it with her husband being the president for a while, and so she knows.
And people knew Hillary before they knew Bill.
Yeah.
And I found that interesting.
I feel like she thinks she knows more than she actually does, though.
Yeah, and also I kind of think that our world isn't necessarily ready for a woman president yet. But I feel like it would be a great thing for, you know, women, because, you know, women power. But, you know, I don't think the world is necessarily ready yet.
Okay, but what about when it came to her email scandal? Sending emails using, I think it was a Gmail or Yahoo account, and not using a private email censor. Do you think the fact that she was unable to hide certain private emails and it could have easily been hacked, do you think that irresponsibility should reflect her being president or not?
I mean, all presidents have flaws, and you can't always bash them down for things, but being the first lady and always being in public eyes, she could have did something to like back her story up and stuff like that. That's what I think should have happened, but you know.
Or maybe it was all publicity and she did it on purpose just to get
Okay.
more people
More
to,
attention.
yeah. A lot of celebrities do that.
Yeah.
So do you guys think it's weird that she does this one thing and, oh, you shouldn't be president, but this man calls a woman ugly and he said, I'm going to build a wall,
Yeah.
and he said, let's lay off
I feel like there's,
Hispanics for a day, and they're mostly Hispanic people
because she's
who
a
work in
woman,
this
they're
hotel.
finding reasons
Yeah,
to.
they're-
Some people find reasons to target them, so they, inside, they feel like they know why they're not voting for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're making a change now because Barack Obama is the first black president, and I think she has it going because she is like a woman, and I think America wants change. So that's why they voted in Barack Obama. That's why they are leading towards Hillary, and I think that change would be good for us.
Okay, going off of change, do you think that people are gonna vote for her just because she's a woman? Or do you think people are gonna lose track of the views or what she stands for? I'm all about change. I'm really huge about change, but I know when it came to Obama, a lot of people just voted for him because he was African American. And I would ask, like, what do you think he stands for? What do you think? I don't know, but he's black and we need a black president. And that's ignorance. I would like change, but not change of
Just because,
ignorance.
Yeah. I think a lot of the women will vote for her because she's a woman, and there are a lot of feminists and people who believe that women should take more charge because it's mostly men still. And it's still today, there's still some, what's the word?
Stigma?
Yeah, and there's still some like putting women down because they're a woman, or not having.
Degrading them.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Degrading.
Degrading them. And there's, you know, they still put women down for being a woman, and a lot of people think that women doctors are just nurses because they're women, and a lot of people go towards the men doctors because they think they know more because they're men, which is not true.
Hillary talked about a glass wall in one of her interviews, and I feel like she's really trying to focus on the fact that women have a stand and they have a voice in the politics and the political world, and there's always going to be that glass wall, whether change occurs or not. There's always going to be somewhere, like different people or something that's going to push someone else down upon the glass wall. And that's why people are hesitant about change now that Barack Obama is becoming in office, and they feel like change is still
Happening.
not available.
Yeah. Okay, I get you. All right, guys, this is going great. I'm excited about what's getting ready to happen next. All right, stay tuned for the 251, and we're going to come back with our awesome 251 panelists and ask them even more questions.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
All right, welcome back to the 251. All right, now, panelists, I want to talk more about Donald Trump's personality versus other people on the Republican Party, and also Hillary Clinton's personality and the way she performs at her job. Now, with Donald, outspoken, loud, say what's on his mind, is that I know we said before that someone is entertaining, but you wouldn't want for his job. But how do you feel he's gonna win, or how do you feel he's getting so many supporters where when he talks about Hispanics or women or people of different races, how do you think he's still, how is it possible that he's still ahead?
Because there's always people who secretly agree with him, and that are, because he speaks what's on his mind, and so some people want that because they feel like if you hold all your feelings in, then no change will happen, ever. So if he speaks what other people agree with, then they're going to agree with him because he's doing something that they could never do.
Yeah, and this is America, and as an American, we're gonna have that jingoism and think we're the best. And so if he's downplaying Mexico or somebody else, there are gonna be those people who are like, yes, we are the best. And then so he's playing off of that, like, oh, showing everybody that we're the best, but he's going about it the wrong way.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and I think there are a lot of people who are still closed-minded and agree with him on the discrimination against the women and the Muslims and the African Americans and all of that, and he discriminates against all of them, and they're closed-minded people who still agree with that.
So do you think the Republican Party is going to crumble? Because I see that they're actually scared, but they're putting up the front of supporting him because that's their prime candidate right now. But there is actually a certain fear that, wait, that's not how this Republican person is supposed to look. So are you afraid that there is going to be chaos?
Oh yes, definitely. If he gets elected president, I'm going to have a lot of fear because someone like him is just, he's kind of like, I'm really scared to say this, but he's kind of like Adolf Hitler in a way. And he discriminates against, he looks at the ideal American, which is a white male. And
With money?
Yes, with money, a white wealthy male, and that's the ideal American. That's the ideal American.
I get what you're saying.
and that's what he wants, and that's his, idealistic America. And I think that he would have a lot of similarities with Adolf Hitler in a way, and bring our country down. And
He's causing a lot of problems already, and he's not even elected yet.
yeah.
So you think he'll be more of a dictator than
I think
a
that's
president?
what his mindset is. He's forgetting that this is, a Republican
Country that we're all supposed to be as one, and we're all supposed to get along. And half of the country, they're just going towards Donald Trump because he's the only candidate that's ahead in Republican, which is what they would always vote for.
I think they're going to crumble because once Democrats start acting more conservative than a Republican, that's a problem. Because Hillary, she's more elegant in a way, and I think Republicans are usually those conservatives who, don't change. And they shocked me this year with Donald Trump. Like, I don't even see.
Now, going after what you said, when she's more polished, she's more eloquent, is it fair because this man is able to get to say what he's want to say? Because if you go on Ben Carson, things were said about Dr. Ben Carson, and he went off on one of the reporters. But this man goes off on you all the time and calls everybody ugly or crazy, but the guy who is actually a Republican, is it just because this is how he started, this is how he can be?
Maybe
Like,
just
is it how
because
you
he has
start, you
money.
can finish?
Or
I
he's
don't know.
known for it,
Yeah, but is that right though? Like, if you're known for being a butthole, do you have the privilege to continue being that?
Not when you're running for president, no. And I think it's just his money. Like, he has a lot of people in his pocket, like, who he controls with that. And it's just, that's scary for me. Like, he can you can change how we run our country just because you have more money than someone else, and that your dad was wealthy and he passed that on to you.
Smaller
And
of $1 million.
yeah, the start was different, but I mean, y'all are both on that same stage together now, so it should make a difference.
But isn't that how the world is run anyway?
Yes, it is.
By that
Sadly.
1% that controls the world.
Yes.
Yep. 90% of the money goes to a couple people in our society, and that's. I feel like those people give him the most support because he does have money.
And they want to keep it in their
Possession,
society or
yeah.
like in their little
Because Donald
money
Trump's not going to
area.
take the money away from them.
Yeah, because he won't take money away from them because they have money like him,
Okay.
and not the unwealthy middle class people.
Let's go back to the wall. What do you feel about a wall being built to keep people out?
I don't think he
That's
should say it
harsh.
should be keeping out. Okay, if you're going to build a wall, build it in a agreeable sense that with the Mexicans, like, hey, or go down there and say, let's make strict laws on keeping some type of grounds for the illegal immigrants to not come over. And if you're going to build a wall, don't make them pay for it. You're the one building it. You can't say you're going to make them build a wall to keep them out. So.
Most of those
kinda
people were
crazy.
invited into the United States because when you think of those kind of people, you think American dream, and they're all coming here to pursue a dream that they've always been told they can pursue. And so they want to come in to be able to get money because they came from an unwealthy family, or to get a job that they've always wanted, or finally raise a family because they couldn't afford it where they were coming from. And now he's telling them, no, there's no equality here, you're not allowed to come in.
And I think he's forgetting that you're saying that you don't want immigrants in America, but your ancestors were once immigrants, so how could you be against immigrants?
That's true.
So-
Okay, guys. Oh, wow. All right. When we come back, we're going to finish this discussion and we're going to follow up with some more questions. But until then, stay tuned for the 251.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Welcome back to the 251 now. We just left off talking about the wall that was going to be built. And now let's try to switch more over to Hillary. Now, a lot of people are saying they're scared that she, one, is not going to be in good health for the job, and then two, that she doesn't always have a cool demeanor in handling situations or how to stay cool and calm, especially they compare her a lot to her husband, Bill. So do you guys agree with that?
No.
No?
I honestly think that Hillary, people say she's all for women, but honestly, she's for everyone.
Everyone.
She's trying to keep men with their jobs, but actually have women like successfully go higher than the glass ceiling. That's honestly what I think she's trying to do.
Yeah, she's more liberal and more open-minded than a lot of the candidates on the Democrat and Republican panels, and she's for everyone. Like he said, she's for everyone. She wants everyone to succeed, and she wants to be the leader for America, like the leader that we need, the leader that is open to anything. And I feel like she would make good decisions. Maybe, because every president has his flaws and his or her flaws if Hillary gets elected, and they have their flaws and make some mistakes, but then you learn from your mistakes and make it better.
Would Hillary be one of the first choices you would choose as being the frontier of this huge first female president campaign?
Yes.
Or is it someone else you would think could do a better job?
I would say she would probably be my choice if there was someone to come along that was better than her, then yeah, I would vote for them. But as of right now, I think she would be the first woman president.
Okay. What about if Donald Trump doesn't win? Do you see him being a Secretary of State?
Not at all.
No, I think he does.
I don't
If he's
think he
not
needs to be.
that executive power, he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
And in his world, he is that executive power. It's like he's the CEO of his own businesses. So if he's not the president, he doesn't want it.
Yeah, he
Check
wants.
myself.
I feel like he's just doing it for the power.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he
if
wants.
yeah.
He wants the highest, or he doesn't want anything at all. I feel like that's what his demeanor is and what he wants.
He wants to be in the public eye. That's why he's always on television.
Mm-hmm.
And when he says things, he's not by himself. He's with other people around him that helps him and be like, okay, go ahead, keep going. And that's not like what you need around you if you want to be president.
Yeah. He feels like his way, the way that he moved to the top was by publicity. It wasn't by how he carries himself. It's how he uses those comments out of nowhere that everybody's shocked about. But some people believe that we need that shock, or else no changes, like we've talked about, change isn't going to be present in our country.
How do you guys feel about when he spoke at a community college and one of his campaign managers needed more integration of people to sit behind him, and he chose an African American student, and she said she wasn't going to vote for him at first, but she said she said okay, because she wanted to see maybe if she met him in person and heard what he had to say, maybe it's different from what the TV portrays. So she said she was listening and she didn't do it. She pulled out a book and started reading her book. And people were asking her to put it away and to stop, and she said, no, why would I sit here and listen to a man who is downgrading others and races and sexuality and people of different sexes and genders, and why am I doing that? And she was like, I'd rather read this book. How do you guys feel that she was just picked as a pawn?
Well, that happens a lot, and I mean, like if you want the people to like you, you say, oh, let's get one of each up here and say, all right, this makes me look better. I have a black person in my back, so maybe the blacks vote for me. Like the ladies who came on his speech during his speech and saying black people were going to vote for him. You did that. I'm pretty sure you were paid to do that, and
just because they do it, they're saying it doesn't mean that all African Americans feel the same way, or all women. On top of that, you just straight off told a woman she's ugly, but not thinking about, one, she's a political candidate. Two, she was a CEO of her own company, and she moved up and she did stuff similar to you. And if he's going to do that to a woman who's that powerful, how do you think he's going to do to a woman who is middle or lower class?
Just as worst. I think if he doesn't care about someone who's high up as that, then he's not going to care about the lower people.
That's true. Okay, I have some questions I want to ask you guys. Now, I want to know, how would you think the next president would affect younger individuals and also future college students? Years are going to fly by quick from high school, and college is right around the corner. So how do you think choosing the right president is going to affect you when you go off to school?
I feel like Donald Trump would, help in dispersing out money, because that's what he's good at, and he would help people get into college, because I think he still believes in education, even though he doesn't believe in a lot of things. Education is still how most people rise to power. So I feel like he would help different people who don't have that much money into college, or even middle class people. He would help with that. He would benefit those people, but that's all.
That's a really tough question. I believe that, whoever is our president, if both of them are elected for the final panel, is that? Yeah. If both of them are the candidates for president, I feel that both of them will have a good effect on colleges, and I'm not really sure how.
I don't know how they view education as much as.
Okay, cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
All right, now guys, I'm gonna ask you this question. If you could create a president out of thin air, what qualities do you think he or she would possess?
Ooh, okay, I got this. All right. Okay, a good personality, very, very outgoing, but not too outspoken. Someone who,
Role model.
someone who says what they believe, but also, they stand behind it, but not, oh, well, this is what's right, this is what it needs to be. And they also need to be very smart with money, because, you don't want our country to go bankrupt, because that would be really bad, because we don't need that.
Gotcha.
And then one more thing. What else?
Okay, how about we ask the men? Who would you, like, how would you, because it sounded like they were describing a date. Like, I want a man who's going to be,
in the president, I would think that they have to be educated and articulate. And I think, like, someone like Mark Rubio, someone who came from the bottom and know how it feels to be. I think that would be good to show Americans, look what you can do. And instead of downplaying the people who are at the bottom, you show them, hey, look what you can do at the bottom, and stand up as a role model for your entire country.
Yeah.
Well, I think that you should have someone that is always on the top of his game, or her on top of her game, but always knows that even though I'm up here, I can always get back down. So that's honestly.
They're humble.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, very humble.
okay, all right, thank you guys so much. You guys were so full of knowledge and feedback and energy, and I loved it. Thank you guys, and we're gonna have to have you back again for our next 2251 panelists. It might be a more calmer.
So the same
section.
people?
Yeah, sure. Okay, all right. Thank you for watching the 251. Join us again for our next episode next week.